Hello, my name is host Eric. I am the host of Talking with Fence People, and today I'm going to be discussing outside project overview. So I'm a person who does most of his projects inside. However, I have a physical need to do some space object projects. It makes me feel solider or something. So I do have a series of outside projects that I kind of have continually in the works. I wanted to go over what they are and my thinking process regarding them. If you're somebody who likes the idea of doing projects but not really sure how to get rolling on them, maybe this will help. I don't know. This is the first table I want to talk about. It's sort of the active materials table. I put this basket here because I'm going to use it to talk about the concrete. These things here are random metal things that I want to get in the mix at some point, right? Because they look like this is something. I'm going to use this for something. I don't know what yet. I put it up here just to show you that. This is my most active current project, of course. And it's gone through two steps. The next step is going to be sanding, but I was going to do that this morning, but I got sidetracked by working on a different outside project. These little chunks of wood that I cut off of that. Here's some of the boards that I bought, right? Okay, so let's go over here. Another thing I bought at the Home Depot the other day was this bag of concrete. It's a 60-pound bag of concrete. It's only like $6 or something. And the reason I got it was because I have a mic stand. It's a desktop mic stand, but I want to put it in this and cement the base of the mic stand into a box full of cement, because I want to make that mic stand such that I can, my mic's quite heavy. I want to make it so I can have it at full extension, tilted at a weird angle, and still not fall over. And to do that, it needs to be a much heavier base. So that's the project that I bought the concrete for. However, as you'll see, that's not the first thing I'm going to use the concrete for, because I've since then determined I needed to use it for something else. We'll get there. Over here, this is an example of a project that's been in my mind for about a year that I haven't done anything on, but I'm still planning on doing something with. So I don't get discouraged by the fact that I never followed up on that idea yet. I still think I'm going to. This is a piece of wood that I dug out of the bed, the center of bed in my front yard, along with its pal piece of wood over here. You can come over here and show this one. These two were buried underneath the ground in the bed. And when I tried to dig in there and plant, I'd always hit them. Finally, I got tired of hitting them, and I dug all around them and pulled them out. Well, they're really cool pieces of wood, and what I want to do is some sort of carving project with this, but I don't know exactly what it's going to be. I'll probably cut off a little piece of it and take advantage of the natural weirdness of it and stuff, but I don't know. But I brought it here to just show you that it's still an active project in my mind, and I haven't done a goddamn thing on it because I've been thinking about it for a long time. This aquarium stand is important for outdoor projects for me because I tend to work with wood. Clamping is critically important when you're working with wood. It's really all about the clamping. This thing's great because you can clamp from here, 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 and you can cut in the middle, you can cut on the sides. This is perfect for clamping things. So if you can find one, I found this on the street, someone was throwing it away, I just grabbed it. You can find something like this, it's perfect for clamping. Alright, let's go over here. Now, I put on this chair basically all my tools that I was using this morning. Circular saw, power drill. These are what I think are the important tools to have. You gotta have a circular saw. You need to have a power drill. I like to have a Dremel tool. I use a Dremel tool a lot. And obviously you need some clamps, right? These things are really useful too. These are borer bits. This makes a hole in the wood, right? So sometimes you need to make a round hole. Then it's good to have those things, and they fit on your power drill, and they make a round hole when you push it through the wood. Alright, so here you'll see I've got a bunch of screws and nails and shit, because you never know what you're going to need as far as screws and nails. Now here I put the tools that I'm using on the current project, TWFP project. The next tools I'm going to use are this belt sander and this hand sander. This belt sander I'm going to have to get, really, for it to be useful for this project. I'm going to need to get a finer mesh of belt, because this is meant to strip paint off of something. Off of what?
Yeah.
I want a wood sanding one of those. Okay, and then of course this is the jigsaw. I don't think I have
like this, right?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have much more use for the jigsaw on the TWFP thing, but I probably will have use for it on something else. Let's go to this. This is my trash can full of random shit. Now, everyone should have a trash can full of random shit that have things that might be useful. I'll use this at some point soon. This is very much going to be used soon. This was a project that went awry. I was trying to make something I had a long table taller, and I wanted to put these things as legs, put the short legs on top of it. But I did a sloppy job of cutting them. I didn't measure very well. They weren't flat on the bottom, and the whole thing was just awful. So that got backburnered, maybe even canceled as a project. So now I got these leftover chunks, and I'll do something with it, something simple. Like this thing. How useful is this? Super useful. For what? I have no idea. But it will be super useful at some point to do something. I imagine myself sitting in a chair and going like, pulling a string and this thing bringing something to me, you know? Like that. Now let's go over to this thing. This is the project that sidetracked me this morning because I was going to work on a TWFP thing. But I was using this as a camera stand before, and it's too wobbly. I didn't like how wobbly it was. And you can see it's wobbly by like that, right? So I made this thing. I used those borer bits. My plan was to have this fit snug into these things, right? Into these holes. But I'm pretty dumb. So what I did was I didn't account for the fact that it doesn't get to its full size until it's up here, right? It's down at the bottom, it's tapered. So I didn't really account for that fact. So now what I have is this problem. You'll see. Yeah, okay, now, it's still wobbly. Why? Because these aren't snug. Because you gotta lift them up to be snug. Okay, so what am I gonna do about that problem? I've thought about lots of different possible solutions. And what I've concluded is I'm gonna make a very small amount of cement. I'm gonna fill each of these holes with cement. I'm gonna put this in here and cement it in like that. Which brings me to another kind of problem that you face when you're doing outside projects. That has instructions on how to make a 60-pound bag of cement. You use 1/2 gallon of water with a 60-pound bag of cement. I want to make about 4 ounces of cement. So how much water should I put in? You know, that's one of the kind of problems. I'm not going to try to do the math. I'm going to just eyeball it and hope it comes out okay. In the process, I may fuck this whole thing up. I have to chop off the legs and just, you know, forget the legs, or just sit on the bottom of it. That's the other possibility. So part of being active in outdoor projects for me is knowing that I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm playing around. I'm trying to make things, I'm trying to be better at this stuff, and I'm naturally terrible at it. I do shit like that, but I just did it all the time. But instead of getting frustrated, I think, well, this is a fun chance to play with concrete and see how that works. And if it doesn't work, I'll chop off the legs and whatever. I'm not attached to this solution. I'm kind of thinking it was a dumb solution. But you know what I am happy with? Come back around here, please. I did put these on, and they already stabilized it a lot. This and this. These I don't regret putting on at all. I think that was smart. That may have been a bit of a waste of time. I'm not sure if that's going to help or not. But I have a number of possible ways to approach it that might be able to stabilize it more. Regardless, I'm quitting on this project right now because I don't know exactly what to do yet. Next, I know I'm going to probably use the concrete, but I'm not 100% sure. So instead of working more on this project, I just say, man, I'm done with it today. I'm tired of it. It's okay because I've got a lot of other projects in the mix too. So if I still want to work on something, but I don't want to work on this, no problem. That's important for me. It may be important for you too. I don't know. And lastly, I want to talk about surfaces. Now this thing here is another trash find, right? I got it out of someone's trash. And if you look, it still has a speaker in it. I kind of want to take the speaker out and these speakers out. See if they're any good, you know? But the reason I keep this now is not for anything to do with the speakers. It's because it's a great little end table kind of a thing. And or because I'm not attached to it as like a fancy piece of furniture or anything, I can drill into it. As you see, I used it as the base for my drying rack when I was drying the marijuana. And I can just fuck with it. You know, there's lots of shit I could do with it. Maybe I don't care about it. It would go in the trash can if it weren't already so complete, you know? It's got multiple uses. And I guess the last thing I want to talk about is ergonomics. I'm bad at ergonomics. If you can set up your space so that you can do some of the work sitting down, it's a very good idea, especially if you're tall like me. The problem with outdoor projects for me is my back always starts to hurt. I'm always bending over. Things are not at the right height. I'm not about to deal with that kind of level of setup. That amount of pre-work where you go, oh, I want my workspace all at the right height and ergonomic and shit, I'm just never going to handle that. So the best thing for me is if I can bring things close to me and I can actually do some of the work sitting down, it'll save my back a lot. And this kind of chair is perfect because it's got no arms. Arms get in your way, right? This is a good chair for playing guitar too. Let's come back over to here. I'll show you guys this as well. This is a previous ridiculous project that didn't really work out. This is a stand to hold the selfie stick, hold the camera up, okay? And it kind of works. You put the selfie stick in here, and you see it's got a hole. And the selfie stick goes through the bottom, and then it pokes up here. But it was too wobbly, so I put these little supporter things here, and they kind of work. But I had to add this to make it squeeze it a little bit. This is sort of half-assery that typically typifies my projects. This came from the trash can of random things. That's why it's got this on it, you know. Like, I didn't put these things on it. But you could, and then I started thinking, oh, what can I use these for? Could I add some extra component to this thing?
Can I ask you something?
And you can, actually, because, I'll tell you in 1 second. Because if you turn these upside down, now all of a sudden it's at a tilt. See? So it's got extra feature. I didn't plan that, but it's one of the features of it. Okay, what do you want to ask?
When you create something, do you have an actual like go-to process, or you write your thoughts down or something first?
I'm trying to practice doing that as much as possible. This project here is one of the most planned projects I've ever done. I have a set of steps I'm going to follow, and I'm trying to stick to it because I don't want to spend forever on it, and I don't want it to go down. I don't want to start on a wrong path and end up having to trash it. In general, I aim to do more of that, but I'm not very good at it. And that concludes this exciting episode of Talking with People, in which I discuss how outside projects work for me, and hope that the viewing audience, some of you, may have found something useful to take from my experience and apply to yourself. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.